Welcome, FlipoClock fans. We have a RadioShack Realistic Chronomatic 110 in FlipoClock Fan Studios. The clock was sent in by Damon from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, to see if we could get it going again. So, first impressions are, there's a couple things. Right away you can see that the cord has been wrapped around here, and what that does is the cord has these things called plasticizers in it to make it supple, and if it's wrapped around this for a long time, it's going to start to eat in there. But the thing is, because this is not wood grain, I think I'm going to be able to disappear these. I might be able to smooth that out, polish that up. I'd like to whiten this clock and get it looking good. Now the clock is not flipping. Now what's nice is this front piece is almost perfect. I've really never had one come in looking this perfect. So that's wonderful. This is going to clean up really nice. So what we've got going on is this old style selector, and this really blows people's minds sometimes. You got manual, which is up, auto, which is down. You've got on and off. On is down, off is up. So to make it simple, they should have called auto alarm, because that's what it is. So if you want the clock to alarm, you click auto. And then we'll select here and see if our alarm is working. We've got to get to 10 p.m. Right on the nose. So that's to radio. Let's try the buzzer, make sure that works. Alright, that works. And that's coming through the speaker. So manual means if you're not interested in having the alarm going, you put it to manual, then you can turn it on.
For you, with prices starting at just 49 cents per square foot. Give your floors a stylish on-trend upgrade and save more with 10% off special order carpeting at the Home Depot. Going on now.
So the radio's working real nicely. So to get this off, you'll want to, once your screws are out, just kind of pull up top and back at the same time. Now, I should have taken this knob off, but it was enough to come off by itself. So, one thing I didn't mention was this: the owner said the snooze button wasn't pushing down, so that wasn't working. We know the time's not working, and we want to get a new neon glow bulb that's kind of dim. And maybe we might want to get the clock working again. So, hopefully the motor's in good shape. It's just sticky. Well, look at that. So it started. It's pretty noisy, so we're hoping that some lubricant will fix that. Well, look at that. Do you see that? That doesn't belong there. And there's someone's hot glued a screw in there. Huh. So it seems to be working. It's not returning. Once it's pushed down, it's as time passes. So if you push this down, as time passes, that's supposed to come up. However long you're supposed to snooze. So the snooze is not returning, and I'll have to see if I can figure out why. That's noisy, that motor. I'm hopeful that it quiets down. Everything else seems to be in good shape. The radio sounds good. We're going to replace the bulb. We're going to try to work on the sleep function to find out why it's not returning. Whiten the clock. Try to disappear these marks. And that's pretty much it. Alright, we got to get cracking on this. Alright, so I think I figured out what's going on with the sleep function. There's a spring here. This spring was wound all the way around, connected to the frame, and then the other end of it is connected here for some reason, and that's not probably right. So this is supposed to be under spring tension, this thing, so that it will push up. Now, it's got to go with the time as it advances, and there it did. It wasn't doing that before, and the reason it wasn't is because this is too hard to push. So this is the problem. The spring is broke loose. We've got to wind this spring up, and the linkage is stiff. So hopefully I can fix all that, figure out where the spring is supposed to be attached, and we'll have a operating sleep function. I've disassembled the mechanism completely and removed all the dry grease using alcohol. I found that I'm almost 100% positive that that spring is supposed to be attached here and then to the back here. So I had to wrap it around and get some tension on it. And then if you look at this now, so this has got enough tension to where the movement of the clock is going to release the sleep function. All right, we're at a place where we're almost ready to reassemble, but I just wanted to go over a few things of what happened. So this motor was stiff, but I got it oiled, but it was still making noise. Now what I wanted to show you is normally on a motor, you want it to move that freely after you're done oiling. So it's not just put a couple drops and then you're done. You have to keep adding that and spinning it and running it until it's this smooth. So we got it that smooth, but it was still making noise. It was making racket. But so first of all, you want to look and see, well, what are you oiling in the first place? So what you have is a motor where you often seen me talk about put a drop of oil and let it go down here. So what's going down? It's actually going down to here and oiling that post. That's it. So there are no moving parts here. A lot of people suppose they're moving parts. That we call a bearing is called an oil bearing. It's not a ball bearing. So if you press one of those out, it just leaves a hole. It's compressed brass shavings that are compressed, so it leaves a space, between the compression. You can't even see it though. Impregnated with oil. So there's no moving parts. What I've done here is open this up so you can see that it's just a coil. Okay, so very, very few moving parts. So what's going on? Why was this making noise? Well, there are a lot of different configurations of these motors, the gearboxes. So this is one type, and you see this is a metal type. There's plastic types. So in this case, I've removed a plastic type here, and the motor is similar to this one. So what I did, normally if you look here, this gear here, that's the one that gets chewed up. This one happens to be in good shape, so this is good for parts. The good thing about getting that off, I wouldn't do it on a normal course. If yours not making noise, I wouldn't mess with it. I would oil from this side. But if you're already open, you can put a couple drops of oil there, and that way what you're doing is you're getting oil to the back side. You got oil to the front side. Now that will work in and it'll be sufficient. You're getting oil to the back side. But I often wonder, was there any sort of lubrication on these gears at all? Because I don't see signs of grease. Never seen signs of grease. But was there a light lubricant? I don't know. But what I did was I put a very light coating of oil. This is a synthetic plastic safe oil. You don't want to put a petroleum-based oil. That could break these gears down. So I put that on there, and it completely silenced that motor. And it hasn't made a noise since. So that's what's going on, and I wanted just to show a little bit about these motors and what could possibly happen. All right, now it's time to get this back inside the clock and see what we ended up with. Well, there it is, the Realistic Chronomatic 110. We've got this thing cleaned up. We've got a lot of the scarring off of it from where the cord was wrapped on it. We've got a clock that has a working sleep function. The alarm works, and the snooze button works. Stay on and off.
Outstanding Player Award from the 2013 tournament. I got it back. Thanks to Morgan and Morgan.
And there it is, the Realistic Chronomatic 110. Back in shape. Well, thanks for taking the time.